Welcome to the Morale Booster Network, a platform for entrepreneurs, career professionals, leaders, and the general public to give back to the society through coaching and mentoring. I remain your host, Dr. John Ugulu. I am an author, speaker, and strategist. I always say experience is the best teacher. You can stream or download this podcast from YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, Google Podcast, Player FM, and Pandora. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to the Morale Booster Podcast. I am Dr. John Ugulu, your host. In this season of From Idea to Impact, we will be navigating the journey of an author. We will dive deep into the creative process, the challenges, and the triumphs that come with bringing a book to life. In today's episode, we are thrilled to welcome our guest author, Brittnee Wilder. Brittnee is the author of a book which is currently available on Amazon. I believe it's on Amazon. She will be telling us a lot more about the book. It's titled A Guide to Your Most Courageous and Fierce Life Ever. A very beautiful title. So, ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time joining us on the Morale Booster podcast, I want to encourage you to please like and share this broadcast. Like and share it. And here is the reason why. Because you might just be saving the life of that one person. Yes, that one person who has been waiting for a lifetime to hear the message that we will be sharing today. Now, Brittnee is a dynamic author. She is a master abundant life and neuro-linguistic programming coach. She is a speaker and healer who is dedicated to empowering individuals on their journey of self-discovery and personal growth. She specializes in healing grief, navigating heartbreak, and guiding individuals through weight loss journeys. And with a passion for transforming lives, Brittnee combines her extensive knowledge of spirituality and neuro-linguistic programming, which is NLP, to help others unlock their true potential. With a unique blend of empathy and expertise, Brittnee has dedicated her career to helping others find strength and resilience in the face of life's most challenging moments. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please join me as I welcome author and coach Brittnee to the Morale Booster podcast. Welcome, Brittnee.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here today.
The pleasure is all mine. I really want to appreciate you for taking time off your very busy schedule to, showing up on this platform, which we know is a coaching and mentoring platform, to come here and showcase or inspire or motivate people you don't even know. It speaks volume. So thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, great. I know we are neighbors. You are in Georgia with me. It's a beautiful weather, right?
Yes, it's so nice today.
Yes. I am based in Georgia as well. It's a beautiful place. I believe you like it.
Oh, yes. Love it. Georgia really started my whole spiritual journey, to be honest. So I love it. I appreciate being here.
Oh, that's great. And how long have you been based in Georgia?
This is year 11.
Oh, 11.
Yes, 11 great
And
years.
yes. And I know you used to be a teacher.
Yes,
should I use the word used to? Because we're still teachers. As leaders, we are
that's
teachers.
right.
But
Yes, I
so
was a
you
teacher in
used
the
to be a
traditional
school,
sense.
yes,
Yes,
a school teacher, right?
yes.
Great, great, great. So, for how long did you do that? For how long were you teaching in schools?
I taught for 9 years.
Hmm, nine
Yep, 9 years.
great years. So, how,
Yes.
what led to the transition from teaching to coaching?
Yeah. So honestly, in 2019, that's when I started coaching. There were
Mm,
a lot of things happening that I really felt like were out of control. A lot of things, such as I ended up walking in on my ex husband trying to commit suicide. And so that kind of threw everything out of order for me. And so it seemed that after that, my passion was to help people with their mental illness, help people in a space where they can feel better about themselves. You know, hopefully, stopping anybody else from things like that happening in their family, and just have a platform where people can share what's going on, what's going on in their minds, what's going on in their hearts, and just be open to that. So that's where coaching started, and honestly, for the years and years that have happened, I've been doing it part time. And, God told me last year in the midst of finishing my book that it was time to let it go. And it was time to walk into this beautiful life of entrepreneurship, to share my stories, my testimonies, and to really operate in my spiritual gifts 24/7. So that was what, the message was. I received and I became obedient. And now here I am, So that's really what it is.
Yeah, thank you so much for, creating a platform for people to share and, talk about those innermost battles and challenges
Yes.
that they go through. It's not easy because the world as it is right now is filled with a lot of struggles,
Oh,
a lot of
yes.
people who are going through challenges, both mental challenges, emotional, and everything. And you come in, you taking that initiative to create a platform where people can come in and feel comfortable and not feel judged
Yes.
is amazing. So thank you so much for all you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. So now, let's look into your book. This episode is all about navigating the journey of authors. Your book is titled "A Guide to Your Most Courageous and Fierce Life Ever."
It's
Um,
bolder, better, wilder first, and then a guide to my most courageous and fierce life ever. Yep.
oh, okay, okay, yes, can you please just tell the audience what the title of the book
Yes,
is?
it's bolder, better, wilder, and it is a guide to your most courageous and fierce life ever.
Oh, okay, yes, bolder, better, wider. A guide
Yes.
to your most courageous and fierce life ever. So thank you so much for
It-
sharing that. And where can they get this book to buy if they want to
yeah,
buy?
they could get it from my website if you want a signed author copy, BrittneeWilder.com, or they could get it off of, it's available on Amazon as well.
All right, thank you so much. For those of you who are listening to us, contact information is currently being displayed. You can visit her website to learn more about her. So my main question I want to ask you now, Brittnee, is what inspired you to start writing? And was there a particular moment or experience that set you on this path?
What inspired me to start writing? Oh my goodness. Well, I've been writing since I was a kid. And honestly, writing for me was just a way to deal with what was going on around me, right? It was a way for me to talk about how I felt in the process of, living through homelessness and my family. It was a way for me to connect my emotions and just be more self aware about what's happening. So I've been writing since I was a kid. And it started off with writing notes about boys I liked and crushes I had to moving into poetry. I wrote, a lot of poetry and still do write poetry. And then it turned into this book I've been writing for 15 years. It took me 15 years to create this book because it was a combination of all the things from childhood all the way up. And originally, it started out as a way for me to deal with my emotions, especially in college. There was just a lot going on in college. We're doing a bunch of different things, trying to, get our education, but also I was working full time. I lived on my own. I, lived in an apartment. And so there were just a bunch of different things going on, and writing saved me. Writing is what allowed me to be able to express myself. It's what allowed me to release all the things that I was dealing with. It's what allowed me to simply be. And not judge myself throughout all the different things that were happening in my life. It was my safe space, and it saved me, and so that's where it brings me to this book had to come out. Like I knew it would, I wasn't expecting it to take 15 years, but also it's the journey, right? It's the process, it's the journey, it's the experience of writing a book, and the different challenges that you do go through that makes it such a beautiful product. Makes it such a beautiful ending, is that this is the end result and it's everything I could have ever imagined.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for sharing. They say delay is not denial,
That's right.
right? Yeah, so the most important
Yes,
thing is you got the book out,
that's right.
and that is key. There are so many people right now who have been having it in their heads that they want to write. It's been 20 years, 30
Yes,
years, 40 years, and still they've not been able to do it. But you got yours done, and that's actually what matters most. So congratulations to you on that.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so I believe without any doubt you are extremely excited about
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Like this, I
that.
tell everybody where I go, I say, this is my baby. Like, I have
Mm.
been writing this for years. Like, this is literally my baby.
Yes, I know that feeling. I remember writing my very first book. It was like not even a dream. A dream is something you even see ahead of time. I didn't see it coming, so it's a beautiful feeling. And for those of you who are listening to us right now, if you are an aspiring author and you've been going through challenges, probably you've not been able to make time to make it happen, it is still possible because Brittnee took her about 15 years, over a decade. And it means if she could provide, produce or publish the book despite that long, it means it is also possible for you. No hope is lost. Um,
That's right.
a book is a great legacy. Your book will certainly outlive you, to live longer than you. So try to make it work. Is that correct?
That's right. Yes. Keep going no matter what. Yes.
Keep going no matter what. Yes, I love that. So, can you share with me some of the biggest challenges you faced in your writing journey and how you overcame them?
Yes. Some of the biggest challenges I faced. I think because my book is such a book that is about real events that happened in my life. One of the biggest challenges for me was being afraid to face the judgment from family members who are involved in my book, old friends who are involved in my book. So I think my biggest thing was getting over this whole idea of being judged for what I went through, or being looked at differently because of what I've gone through. I had to work on that, getting to a place where I felt comfortable with my stories and being able to tell my story, and recognizing that, these different tests were my testimony. And so it took me a while to get to that place, but it was really challenging, writing different things. Also dealing with, you know, issues of, like I said before, I was molested as a child. So having to write out the story of that, it really puts you in the emotions of what you dealt with at that time. So also being triggered about, different things that I've overcame, was also another challenge. But that, like I said, is it's part of the process. It's part of the healing process as well, being able to express that in a way and to release whatever is left from any of those traumatic events that have happened in life. So it's all part of the process, and God uses everything. So I was totally inspired by that in the process of, as well as being challenged. It's really an inspiration to really push past some of those struggles and those challenges that you're dealing with, and to know that there's somebody on the other side who needs to hear your story. There's somebody who needs to read about it so that they can, be open and honest about what they've gone through and address those traumas and those different hurts and pains they've, gone through in their life as well. So, yes.
Yes, yes, using our test as a testimony to inspire others. And that's what this program is all about. The Morale Booster platform. Morale Booster is all about inspiring people, letting them know that no matter how bad their situation is, their current situation is someone else's prayer point.
Right.
Yes, so thank you so much for sharing that. And I know this is the only book you have published, right?
It
Yes.
is not. Actually, I do
Oh,
have a
okay.
poetry book. Yes. I do
Okay.
have a poetry book. Like I said, I'm a poet. I was a poet before I was anything else. And I published my poetry book as well last year.
Mm.
So two books in a
Oh,
year.
okay. Okay, that's
Yes.
good. That's good. You are not doing badly then.
Not at all.
So so yeah, basically, um, how has your writing process evolved over time? And what have you learned about yourself as a writer along the way?
Yes. My process, how has it evolved? Oh my goodness. Um, I have gotten a lot more bolder with anything that I have to write about. Before, I actually had a writing coach that helped me through Bolder, Better, Wilder, because this was, my baby. I wanted it to come out the way that I saw it, and in my visions and all the above. And so I got help with that. And the one thing that she told me starting out was that, you're speaking about these situations like you weren't in them. There were things I wrote down, and, I thought I was doing good by just writing them, by being, courageous enough to put it on a piece of paper. And she's like, but I think you can go deeper, because you're acting like you're somebody who's outside watching these events happen. And these are the events that happened in your life. So I am in that space where when I write, I go all the way in. I go deep, I dig deep. I talk about the different perspectives. I talk about my perspective, how I feel, how it made me feel, all the things, because I want my readers to really experience where I've been, and how far I've come from. And so it is truly, my writing has truly evolved in a way that has been just beautiful, to where I really dive into all the senses, and we talk about all the things when I write. So, yes, very thankful for having a writing coach, because that it just opened my eyes up to the things that you don't know if you've never written a book, right? So, yeah.
That's correct. I always encourage people to find a coach whenever they're starting something. I have a relative who wanted to get into the event space business, and he had all the, he already had the cash, but for like 3 years, he was stuck. If it's not, challenge getting the license, it will be this code and that code, and
Yeah.
before we could know, he he gave up,
Oh,
and it would have cost him just barely under $5,000 to get a coach. And I told him about that coach a long time ago. I said, hey, there's a guy that I know who helps people start this. So just pay, take some coaching sessions, and get started. The $5,000 that he refused to pay for a coach delayed him for 3 years, and eventually he gave up.
see, yeah, coaching's
Yeah,
so
so
important.
it is very important. So why am I saying this? When you first started, you found yourself a coach. The coach helped you navigate all you know, the aspects of putting everything together. And now the book is out, which is good.
Yes.
And I'm saying this so that that man or that woman who's listening to us right now would understand the importance of having a coach. So please go get a coach. Sometimes it could be very expensive, but programs like the Morale Booster platform could be a coaching platform for you. We have interviewed several authors. If you cannot afford the coach that charges 5,000, you would find the one who charges less. You would find someone who would be able to do it for you at a discounted rate. But get a coach, find somebody, find podcasts, find people who can help you transition from where you currently are to where you want to be. All right. So thank you so much for sharing. Now I've got another question for you. What role do you think community or feedback from readers and other writers has played in your development as an author?
What role? Um, let's see. So when it comes down to the community, the people who have read my book, the people who, I even am in a few book groups, that sort of thing. So I think that there's something to people who have done kind of like what you were talking about with the coach, people who have done things that you're trying to do, or done things that you've done, and just having a peer group, somebody that can read your book and kind of give you that feedback and all the above. It's beautiful, it's necessary in order to get better. So I feel like, being able to receive some positive feedback and being able to listen to what people are taking from your book, right? I remember putting out my book in June is when it came out, and to get the testimonials and to hear people say, "Oh my gosh, I never knew, but I feel that this is the reason why we've been connected, families and friends, and people who didn't really know my story to down to what it was." I think that that's important because it's the confirmation that God sends you to know that you're doing where you're right where you're supposed to be, and you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. You're helping other people get through their things, even to the point where one of my friends, her mother, reached out to me and just was like, I need to know about this therapy that you went through. I talked about the different therapy that I went through. I talked about my process of healing after my divorce, and all the different steps that I took to be in a space of peace and calm, after going through something so tragic as a divorce. And she reached out to me and was like, I need to do what you did. Like, can you help me? So like, I feel like the community aspect and having people receive your book and what you've written, and giving you that feedback, it's just confirmation from God that you're doing what you're supposed to do. You did what you're supposed to do, and it's just going to continue to keep blessing others and helping others. So yeah, that's what I think about that when it comes down to community.
So basically, it is paramount. It is, it is, it
Absolutely.
is, it is a necessity.
It is
Um,
necessary.
we, yeah, nobody is an island.
No. Nope.
Great. All
We all
right.
work together. We are
We all
all
work to,
connected. Yep,
yes, teamwork makes the dream work.
that's right.
Right. All right. Thank you so much for sharing. So I typically ask my guests, to inspire, say some inspirational words or motivational words, just to those people who actually need it. My coach will say there's one thing that does not have an expiry date. It's motivation. Motivation does not expire because we all need it. If you get
Yes.
inspired today for a certain thing, down the line, a few minutes later, you will certainly need inspiration for something else, right?
Yes.
so
Yes.
so it doesn't expire. All right. So looking back at your journey, or looking back on your journey, what advice would you give to aspiring writers who are just starting out for 1 minute?
So, if I was to speak to an aspire writer right now, I would say that your journey is your journey. Do not compare yourself to anybody else. Take it one day at a time. If it gets too overwhelming, what you're writing about, take breaks frequently. And never stop. Never stop believing in what you're writing about, in your stories, and your motivation and what you want to do in order to share that with somebody else. Because there is somebody, I promise you, there is somebody who needs to hear your voice, somebody who needs to hear your story, somebody who, without your story being out there and without, your book being out there, they would never find that information. They would never find that motivation. So each and every one of us, it's important for us to do the things that we're inspired to do because somebody is looking for it. So don't stop, don't give up, no matter how hard it gets, keep pushing. Give yourself lots of grace. I can say that over and over again. Give yourself lots and lots of grace. That's all I have.
I love that. You said never stop believing in your story. Give
That's right.
yourself lots and lots of grace. Yes. Yes, you should be your best motivator. You should be the best person to inspire yourself. And it's always best for us to understand the difference between motivation and inspiration. Motivation requires external push, where we tell you, hey, get this done, get that done, and also figure out if you have the inspiration. Inspiration is from the inside because all what we're doing right now on this platform is to make sure whatever motivation we give to you ends up becoming an inspiration to get you started. Sometimes when we ask ourselves why, or rather how, when we ask ourselves, when we have a plan, a dream, a vision, and we ask, how can I accomplish it? That question, how, could be a dream killer. So our
Mm,
goal is to make sure when you ask yourself how, you don't talk yourself out of it because the how could be very big. It could look very big. It could appear very big. It could appear unreachable to you. But with the right resources, you can achieve everything you want. So thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you for the word of inspiration, Brittnee. It's been a pleasure having you. I hope when next I invite you will be willing to come share some words of inspiration.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Uh, All right. Thank you, everybody. It's been a pleasure having you. They say whatever has a beginning has an end. It is about that time where we need to call it a date. And yes, if you are interested in supporting our mission, please feel free to support us with a donation. Visit our website, johnughulu.com, www.johnughulu.com, and make a donation today. We would be more than happy that you did that. God bless you all. You can all follow Brittnee on social media. Her contact information is right there in front of you. She's on Facebook, Instagram, and all the contact information is right there. So go ahead and follow her right now. I don't know where you're listening to us from, but I just want you to know that you have greatness in you. And remember, today is the first day of the rest of your life. God bless you all, and bye for now.